Welcome back to Minding Your Business on Newstalk 1380, the Antelope Valley and North LA County source for your news now. Guest number 2, Aaron. Who's the next guest?
Our next guest is Barely Cake.
Barely Cake, Joseph and Joel, but you didn't bring Philip.
Nope.
I love your tagline here. We are 3 fun-loving guys who accidentally began baking cakes.
That is correct.
Is that how it happened?
That is. It is.
So there was a grand opening just last week.
Just last weekend, yeah.
At 2791 West Avenue L, corner of 30th and L, right next to Schooners.
Right, same building as Schooners. Yeah.
Same building as Schooners. And so there's a grand opening, and the community was there, and the community queens, and you've got cookies and cake and drinks, brownies, and cake.
Yep.
Yes.
So Barely, where'd you get the name Barely? B-E-A-R-L-Y.
So that's an interesting story.
Yeah.
So Barely Cake, the bear in Barely Cake comes from the LGBT community. So Joel and I are bears, and we're also gay. So we took the bear in the subculture of LGBT, and we incorporated that into the name, and that's where Bear and Barely Cake.
Got it. So I guess you're supposed to only ask questions you know the answer to, but I needed to know that.
Actually, you'd be surprised. A lot of people actually ask that question. Where the bear comes from, where Cub comes from in the cupcakes. So we rebranded a cupcake to a Cub cake, just for that same reason.
You have Cub cakes.
Yep, instead of cupcakes.
You know, I went in there the other day to drop off some of my business cards, and you guys got stuff for sale.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a going bakery.
Yes,
it is.
So what percentage of your work is people coming in, buying things off the counter versus a wedding or a quinceañera or a big event on the weekend?
So
Custom cake orders.
yeah, most of our stuff's custom. For custom cake orders, those usually get scheduled in advance.
Yeah.
Customer either calls or comes in, sets up a tasting or a consult. At that point, we sit down with the customer and go over all the details, look at pictures, check to see what the design is, and at that point, we give them a finalized price on what that design is. The percentage of actually what that business is probably about 80% to about 20% of actual walk-ins. Now, that's right this second, only because we're brand new, right? So, as the community knows that we're open, as the word gets out, those numbers will probably change slightly. We're hoping that there'll be like a 50-50 mix. That's right about where we're at right now. So.
Yeah, I think all of us that have businesses would like it a more normal type of business, like every day we're busy, not just
Yeah.
weekend, boom.
Well, and that's how our business is, but our business has been that way for 7 years. So we started in our home 7 years ago. We took a cake to Shakey's Pizza, and on the same weekend we did a cake for my nephew and a cake for their neighbor down the street.
And you went, hey.
And everybody was like, hey, what's going on? Where's your cards? Where's your business? My family was a big part of that. Like, why don't you guys start a business? So they kind of talked us into it, and then
we had the
Joel,
name in the car on the way home.
Aaron, let him have the mic.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, here.
Well,
talk, Joel.
No, we had the name in the car before we even got home. And, it was a 15-minute drive. Within 24 hours, we had purchased business cards, and we haven't had a silent weekend since. And that's 8 years.
That's fantastic. What was the decision for joining the Chamber of Commerce? Have you been a member all along, or did you just join recently?
We joined recently. This is Joel. We joined recently, not because we didn't want to before. We were working out of our apartment over at Lancaster Boulevard and Division Street, and it
Wow. That's cool.
We were working out of our apartment there. It was a very small 2-bedroom apartment. We didn't want to draw a whole lot of attention to ourselves with the government, if you will, for working out.
Yeah.
So then when we purchased the house about 4 years ago, we started looking into being more focused with the community and trying to be a little bit more involved. We got really, really active with the fairgrounds as far as the bridal show annually.
That's a pretty good event, isn't it?
Well, we like it. We we try to do something different every year. Regretfully, Tina Hanlon's no longer part of the fairgrounds there, but we still are very friendly with her, and she really was a major contributor to us continuing to grow.
Yeah, the fairgrounds drives our business. So the bridal show in the beginning of the year is usually in January. I think this year it was in February. But that one bridal show drives our business the entire year.
Really?
So as soon as it happens, we usually get booked from that point, usually until about the end of October, beginning of November, with brides, quinceañeras, you name it, we handle it. So.
How do you get the quince business?
Same way we do as the bridal business.
Quinceañeras.
With quinceañeras or quinceañeras, the customers actually, they go to the bridal shows too because they're looking for the bigger cakes. So they go there or they call us, they find us on the web. But we do, probably 10 to 15% of our business are quinceañera cakes. And then the rest of them are weddings and birthdays. So.
One of the biggest things for us is that we don't up price wedding cakes. Our prices are set for across the board.
No matter
for
what the
custom
event.
cake, yes.
Yeah.
It's slightly more because there's a lot of design time that goes into it. It takes a dedicated person, and minimum wage this year has gone up, and so we've had to make a lot of adjustments. And before I forget, there's a lot of people that go to the bridal show, and one, you yourself, Chris, Penny goes every year,
right.
And she has been a tremendous supporter of ours. So I can't go without mentioning that and the beautiful flowers and such that y'all have provided us. And
Joel, while you've got the mic, why don't you tell me your AV florist story?
Well,
how we became great friends.
Well, this is honestly how it began. A friend of ours was pregnant, and she is not a girly girl. She and her husband, this was their first child. She is just a fun-loving person, fits right in with us. She's a photographer. She had worked with Joseph at Bank of America, and that's how we all met. Mm-hmm. And so her and her husband, who was also a photographer at the time, and now subsequently he works at the planetarium, the big one down in L.A. Anyway, she was giving birth, and we were trying to find a flower arrangement for her, and I wanted something very specific, and nobody would understand what I was trying to achieve. And I spoke with Penny over the phone. She said, "Come in, I got what you want." And so, and
that's true.
I literally went in and I said, "This is the flowers that I want. This is the way I want it done. I don't want it to be just over the top, girly, flowing pinks and stuff. That just won't work." And she gave us the most beautiful, and they still have the vase to this day.
Wow.
So that's my little story with AV Florist, but you have always stepped up to the plate. There have been other vendors as well, but AV Florist captured us real early on as being another small business, and and we really like repaying that kindness.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's important.
I think sometimes the florist only remembers their mistakes, and they forget about the hundreds of times they do something right and hit it out of the park.
Well, that's true. So we're the same way. All we ever see is what's wrong with the cakes that we put out. But as soon as you deliver that cake to the venue, everybody goes absolutely insane, and they don't see the little flaws. So it's the same way. I'm sure on your end. It's just like I never thought I would be putting flowers on a cake and having to arrange them. So that's a unique learning skill that I had to develop rather quickly.
Well,
So.
you're a pro, so I mean, that means you know every aspect of the cake biz. Every aspect.
We're wanting to expand into other avenues.
How far will you guys go with the cake, by the way?
We've gone as far as Long Beach.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
we've
gotta be
been
a lot
much
of fun.
further than that.
Our cakes have gone further than that.
Yeah, we have personally delivered to Newport Beach on a yacht, the Electro yacht down there in Newport Beach. And that cake was stunning, especially when you take photographs out in the middle of the water. The backdrop is incredible.
Yeah, you don't get that around this part of the
Right.
world.
Our cakes have traveled to Vegas. They have been to San Diego. They have been to San Francisco recently.
You guys do anniversary cakes?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's good.
With our wedding cakes, we often, well, with every wedding cake, we tell our brides and grooms that when 2 weeks before their first wedding anniversary to contact us, we'll duplicate the topper for free.
Wow.
Yep.
And for maybe their 50th, you'll just do it for free.
I would.
Hey.
I probably would.
If we're still here, huh?
Yeah.
So tell us again where your new store is.
So the new store is located at 2791 West Avenue L in the Stater Brothers Shopping Center, and we are in the same building as Spooners.
And what are your hours there?
We are open from Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., and on Sunday we're open from 12 to 6.
Wow. And Aaron, do you know if Pokemon Go is at their store?
Oh, and we have
Oh my
tons of
gosh.
Pokemon that hang out in our store, FYI.
I just lost a Meowth this morning.
Oh. We got people coming into the store to play, outside the store to play, tons of Pokemon in the store.
Joseph and Joel Barely Cake, 2971 West Avenue L. Thank you for being a chamber member.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.